This is a Salmo Jack. It was introduced into the Salmo family in 2001. Since then, it has quickly become a classic in every sense of the word. Available in only one body length of 7 inches, and comes in floating models that weigh 2 1/8 ounce and sinking models that weigh 2.5 ounces. The Jack is available in 2 color patterns, the natural pike pattern and the hot pike pattern. The Jack is classified as a jerkbait, and as with all jerkbaits, the lure does not have any action unless the angler gives it life. Being that the Jack 18 is a large, heavy lure, your tackle needs are critical, and for this reason, we recommend only bait casting reels and a rod rated for lures to 3 ounces. The other key priorities in your fishing tackle needs that you have to address will be that your bait casting reel should have a high-speed gear ratio of at least 5:1 or better. Your bait casting rod should be 6 to 8 feet in length. Braided line of at least 50 pounds is highly recommended. And of course, we recommend a stiff, solid strand wire leader for best results. The methods for fishing a floating or sinking jack will be very different. So let's start with the floating version. When you make a cast with a floating jack, you will notice that the lure is designed to float very low in the water. This low floating profile is what makes the jack so deadly when you start fishing with it. As you pause the jack, it seems to hold and not move in the water. Now this is a deadly tactic for cold water pike. With your rod parallel to the water, stroke the rod downward and then take up the slack quickly as you raise your rod tip back up to start another pull. You'll be able to get the jack to run to about 4 feet with a steady series of pulls in rapid succession. The less time between pulls will keep the bait down deep. If you wait, the lure will ever so slowly start to rise back to the surface. It is best when fishing shallow waters to keep your rod tip high, to change the diving angle of the lure, to keep the jack just below the surface, to fish above weeds or visual objects. But if you do this, remember, when you do get a strike, you'll need to reel down quickly to get a good hook set. As you can see here in this underwater footage, the classic jerkbait action of the Salmo Jack is a proven performer, where the action is 100% controlled by the angler. When you want to fish deeper waters, a sinking version of the jack is advised. Now the position of the weights inside the sinking jack will make it glide and wiggle more when you stroke it during the retrieve than a floating model. It is because of this slow sinking action, fish in cold water find it so irresistible. This unique action triggers fish that would not strike any other lure, and is why the Salmo Jack in the sinking version has become a great fish catcher. It simply knows how to trigger finicky fish. When fishing a sinking jack, all your rod movements should be slower, smoother, and less energetic to get the most out of your jack. If you wish the sinking jack to cover deeper waters, simply slow your retrieve and allow it to sink even deeper. The secret to success is to relax and pause the lure between pulls. It is this action of stopping, then the slowly sinking action of the jack between pulls that is the key to getting the strikes. You should expect to see those strikes occur during one of these pauses. You may commonly fish the jack with a series of pulls or strokes, but then you must pause regularly between those strokes to allow it to slowly drop, with your rod tip pointed towards the lure with as little slack in the line as possible.